Alrighty, everybody. Hi, it's Amanda. I hope you're having a great day today. As always, if you're new or returning and you haven't yet already, please be sure you're subscribed to the channel. Also, if you're meant to be subscribed, just triple check that. YouTube is kind of unsubscribing people again, so just check if you want to be subscribed. Also, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down below. I'll try my best to see you there. Today's going to be a little bit different style of a video for me. I did not anticipate making this video today or even making this video at all, but something happened last night with Msashycat that I am not going to just wait and continue to do research before I talk about it, because it's a serious thing and it's something that I personally have voiced the concern of this happening, and it has happened, and I want to talk about it. I'm not really going to focus too much on everybody's main concerns because although we all know what is going on and talk about what's going on, that is not an excuse. Yes, it could be an explanation, but it is not an excuse for some of the behaviors that are happening to happen. And that's the reality of it. Also, since Ashley wants to remain in denial that this is going on, I'm going to bring attention to the bad behavior aside from the concerns. I will say here, if you haven't watched my other video and my live stream, I will link them up above. I would suggest you go watch those. I'm not trying to be mean or make it seem like I don't have any concerns for her, because I absolutely do. And if I was reached out to get her resources, I absolutely would in the drop of a hat. But what I saw last night and some of the things that were said and how she threatened a minor, I'm not okay with that. Whether you are under the influence of a substance or not, that does not excuse threatening a minor. You shouldn't threaten anybody, which her whole live streams pretty much are a huge blanketed threat to anybody who talks about her. But when you cross the line of threatening a minor and doing it like happily on your channel, it strikes a nerve for me. If you're new here and you don't know, I worked in child protection for like 3.5 years. I've worked closely with addiction, people who are in addiction, helping them get into rehab, assisted livings, helping them find resources. I'm very familiar with this kind of population. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. I just understand the behaviors and what's happening. However, what I am not okay with and what I will not excuse is you threatening a minor on your live and you thinking it's funny. I don't care if you're high. I don't care if you're drunk. I don't care what your excuse is, that you're tired, that you had COVID. I don't care. You do not threaten a minor. Absolutely not. In what right mind do you think that that's okay to do? You're always threatening about getting the FBI involved and sending names to the FBI. How about that little minor send your name to the FBI because you threatened her on a live stream that I have recorded, and I'm sure others have recorded. So I am not okay with that, and that is what I'm going to talk about. We're also going to talk a little bit about some of the major contradictions that were talked about in the live last night. I have been pretty transparent in the live stream that I had with you guys that this video is different in the fact that I'm doing my makeup. I'll link my products down below. I watch her live streams occasionally. It's not like I am looking out for them and I'm waiting for them. It's nothing like that. But if I'm not doing anything and she hops on a live, I will watch. I'm not going to participate because, to me, one, I have YouTube Premium. Yes, I understand. In the replay, she gets a portion of that. But while she's live, from my understanding and my viewpoint, you cannot run ads on a live unless they have changed how that works. You don't get ad money while you're live. You get super chat money, and then when you do the replay is when the ads get put on the video. Maybe YouTube has changed and I didn't realize that you can put ads on a live, but that's how I understood. So I will occasionally watch her live streams. I don't typically record them or screen record them, but last night she was on TikTok and YouTube, and it started off just on YouTube for a while. There were some contradictions in the fact that she said that her phone stuff is a YouTube glitch. I don't believe that. I have never had that happen. I used to live stream from my phone, and I would get phone calls and it would interrupt the live, but it would not make my screen go black. Maybe that's a new thing. I am not likely to believe that, to be honest. In addition to that, she later says that she makes it seem like she is making the choice to not have you guys see her screen, because when people can see her, authorities are called. So she was making it seem out to be that she wasn't, and somebody addressed it in the chat. And of course, as always, she like lost her sensibility and went off and was like, oh, well, so you're gonna just assume that because I made one little comment that that's what that means. And that was a lot of the live stream that I caught, and I did not catch all of it. I caught a good bit of it. Pretty much after this teenager was threatened, I was watching on TikTok, not on YouTube. After the teenager was threatened, I went back on YouTube. I screen recorded like the 2 minutes leading up to, like the 2 minutes of that bit. And then I stopped watching because frankly, I was very upset. I was mad. I didn't want to do anything out of reaction. I try not to be reactionary to any creator on any kind of platform, especially one that I've talked about. It's just a weird boundary that I try to hold myself to. So I got off of her live. Now, because I have YouTube Premium, I do download content. That way, when it is downloaded, I can view it in airplane mode and screen record it if necessary. I've done that for almost any creator that I am looking at potentially doing some kind of video on, which brings me to another bit is I talked about Ashley in my first video because I saw this happening, and I genuinely have a concern for what's happening, what people are seeing, how she's putting it off, her aggression. I genuinely have a concern there. So I wanted to bring awareness to it because not everybody's aware. Not everybody has TikTok. And if you don't have TikTok and you come across her on YouTube, you may not know anything about her because now she is building her platform on YouTube, which, get your coin, girl, but stop hurting people in the process. And I made my video generally. And when I made my first video, I did not go into all of the concerns that I had seen and into specific behaviors that I had seen, because it was just an introduction to see if people were interested, if they wanted me to do the deep dive. And a lot of people were interested, and I have been contemplating doing one. I haven't totally sat down. So I have been watching some of her old content, some of her current content to see if this is something I want to cover, if it's something I want to continue to investigate, continue to put together some of the pieces and talk about. I just kind of have been doing a little bit of research here and there, and I've been on the fence for the majority of it. I've been open to it if a lot of people were wanting it, but I understand that there's other creators who talk about Ashley and who people have a relationship with, and that is totally fine. But because of that, I don't want to come in and like overstep or anything like that. So I've kind of been taking a back seat. But after all of this mess, and I'm about to show you the clip, after this happened, I've kind of made the decision that I am going to go ahead and start looking into stuff a little bit more to put together a more informed, in-depth video. I'm also probably going to do a few more live streams just to see what kind of information you all want, because I know with her situation, it branches off so much into so many different areas. But I'm going to show the clip that has me fired up. So keep in mind, I screen recorded this on YouTube, so there was no visual, it's just audio. So you'll just have to listen. I think it's 2.5 minutes long.
Your track marks, you've never been around drugs.
Hopefully you guys can hear it.
Because you don't shoot up here. You would die. Same with here. It has to go directly in the vein. So, way to go and show that you've never done drugs, or that you just started and stopped. Which, oh, look at that. Lying little bitch. I didn't say they were. However, they're in the whole wrong locations, dumbass. Anyway, wasting their time when you're sorry, little ass, because you ain't worth it. You ain't nothing but a little scared pussy behind the screen anyway. Yeah, no, they don't. In fact, so smart. We were moving. I had to put them in a carrier. And they didn't like it. Alright, I called Alexandra. She didn't come. Susan. I sleep in tomorrow because I got to stay for the Comcast, man. Do not be a judgmental little cunt, but oh, it's too late for that. And you're only 17 and acting grown. Grow the fuck up and then step up to me, bitch. If I had the death rattle, I wouldn't be here. That's the whole point of it.
Okay, so I know there's a little bit around, like, before the part where I'm talking about. I'm not sure what was said because I just listen to people's live streams. I don't really watch the chat unless it seems something is going on in the chat, then I'll pay attention. But aside from that, I really don't pay attention to people's chat. So I don't know what this individual had actually said, but clearly they got her upset. And the fact, I understand this person's 17. However, you are still responsible to your parents until you're 18. You are not considered an adult until you are 18 years old. I know some people may want to argue like she was 17, she's not technically a minor. Legally, she is. So I have a problem with that. I have a problem with her thinking it's okay to curse out and talk to a minor like that. She did not know this little, I shouldn't say little girl, I'm old, I'm like twice their age, but she should not feel comfortable talking to a minor that way. And if she's willing to talk to a minor that way without even knowing their age, that's where my concern lies. When we are creators, you don't know who is watching you. You don't know who's on the other side of that camera. And I've had the concern, I think I voiced this either in my video or my live stream, that I did not like the fact that TikTok is known for younger children and that there are probably kids coming across her content, again, I understand this individual was 17. It's not like they were 12, but if they're coming across it, who's to say a 12-year-old isn't? And I've had somebody actually tell me in the comments of some of my videos or in the live stream, I can't remember which was which, that their young child came across, like was watching Ashley because they were searching up stuff about cats. And she came up and she was disturbed by what she was hearing and then what she was seeing. And this was like an 8-year-old, I believe she said. That is one of my major concerns with her. Do we have any room to force her to get help? Absolutely not. I have said that we can't force her to get help. We can be here to support her emotionally if she talks to you. So nobody here, at least for me, is saying that she shouldn't be supported. My concern is people fueling her with money, which is another huge contradiction during her whole live stream last night was about her money. She says she's flat broke. Then she says she makes a ton of money. Then she says, I make more money than you can imagine to somebody who's coming at her in the comments. And then she's back to saying, I have no money. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You either have the money or you don't. Why do you want to brag about how much money you make and how much money you have made back in January? And then whenever people will question you about having money or about having items, it's, I don't have any money. I don't know what you're talking about. And I know like the authorities continue to get called and stuff like that. If she is actively doing something that is concerning, I'm not going to tell people that they shouldn't call. However, to call maliciously is inappropriate. Last night, the first half of the night that I at least was up until like this point that this happened, she was more cohesive and coherent than I have ever seen her. As the night progressed, it's my understanding that that kind of deteriorated a little bit. And during the first like 2 hours or whatever, she did at a couple of points in time, we couldn't see her, but it sounded like maybe she was falling asleep, but we couldn't see her to verify that. And I understand where people's concerns are because of what we do see, especially if you are a part of that community, which she continues to insult. She continues to harm the substance abuse and the recovery community by saying, you don't know what you're talking about. You're clearly not a part of this community because you wouldn't do that. No, she needs to pick a mirror up because what she is doing is what is not acceptable in the recovery community. She's claiming she's recovered. She's claiming she's in sobriety. And anyone who knows what addiction looks like, whether it's because you've dealt with it personally or you've dealt with a family member or a close friend who has been in addiction, you can clearly see that that is what's happening. It is sad. It is scary. And she cannot get beyond the fact that people genuinely do care. And yes, I know I'm just going to mention this briefly at the end because I haven't really talked about it and it's brought up a lot. I understand the moderators are playing a factor in this. I'm not going to discuss that now, but it is something that I'm going to continue to pay attention to and work on towards a video, which I'm going to offer. If anybody watches this and you feel comfortable like talking to me or telling me your experience with whether it's just Ashley or her platforms or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is down below for my email and my Twitter. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm open to hearing other people as I work on putting this next video together. I'm likely to probably go live in a day or two, maybe later today, to continue this conversation because this is one of my personal major concerns. So with everything being said in this, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, evening or night, wherever you guys are. And until the next one, bye guys.